As promised, hashtag boostyourlcs. Boost your local comic shops or store, whichever one you prefer on the S. This will be my last video for recommendations and helping bring awareness to my little but faithful audience. I thank you for watching. I'm always grateful for you. Please like, share, and subscribe to this channel. And let your friends know, to support the local comic shops. This video this week we'll be talking about Boom Studios. Now, I've been a fan of Boom for over a decade now. Pretty much ever since I saw this book, Second Wave. This was written by Michael Allen Nelson and Chi is the artist. This book, man, originally it was titled War of the Worlds, Second Wave, but for some reason, I guess there might have been a rights issue because they had to take that off of here. And then they just call it Second Wave. I'm not even sure if this is still available, but your local comic shop might have a copy. This was really, really cool. This is telling the story of the sequel to War of the Worlds, basically, where the aliens come back. The second wave happens, where the first one was kind of the test run, the scouting party, and the real shit was about to hit the fan. And this was done in a very much of a Walking Dead style narrative, where where people are as much of a threat to each other as the aliens are. I highly recommend it. And also, this was one of the original stories that I got when I was interested in Boom, was Exile. Very Lost-ish, very weird, very fantasy, kind of Land of the Lost mixed with aliens and sci-fi and the TV show Lost. And I mean, it just, man, 4 issues all over the place. This is why Boom kind of made me think it was almost like film incubation, where they take interesting original scripts and make comic series out of them. Maybe in hope of actually turning them into film one day, which they have successfully done with Two Guns. Congratulations, guys, on that. And I think maybe a couple of other properties in the works. They have a first look deal with 20th Century Fox, which is congrats on that. Here's another by Stephen Baldwin called The Remnant. That was an early book that I got from them. Blade Runner 2 is coming out. Blade Runner 2049, which I'm terribly excited about. But while you're waiting, themed on that, Boom Comics has faithfully adapted the Philip K. Dick story to Android's Dream of Electric Sheep. This is the inspiration for Blade Runner. It's quite a bit different, but they took the actual book and illustrated it. You can't really see that, but it's the entire story in graphic novel format. It is completely faithful from what I understand. This is a beautiful hardcover. There's a series of these books telling this story, and an original, they did their own side story, and it has Philip K. Dick listed as okay, let me read this out. This series is the authorized prequel to Android's Dream of Electric Sheep. Authorized. Okay, this is the prequel. It was great. I really enjoyed it. This is called Dust to Dust. So while priming up for Blade Runner 2049, make sure you check into this, which is the source material fleshed out. Now, another movie tie-in that I really enjoyed way more than I ever thought I would is the 28 Days Later series. This is a sequel to the original film and a prequel to 28 Weeks Later. It is the connector between the two, and it is arguably better than either of those films. Again, kind of Walking Dead-ish. Michael Allen Nelson also writes this. He's kind of quickly become one of my favorite writers because of his series with Boom. And it's beautifully illustrated. It's very compelling. No one is safe in these stories. And again, this is a beautiful hardcover. I don't know if these are still available in this format, but there is a nice omnibus that I've not yet gotten and would like to, collecting this entire run. Also, from Boom Studios, this is the original RoboCop 2, adapted into comic book format, originally released by Avatar, and beautifully re-released by Boom Studios in this graphic novel, as well as they took it one step further and gave us RoboCop: The Last Stand, which is RoboCop 3. And boy, oh boy, are these books, were these stories different to begin with. This one, the art is a very interesting choice, but if you're curious to see what Frank Miller actually had in mind for 2 and 3, especially 3, definitely check these out. These are well worth it. If you're a RoboCop fan, I think that seeing what Frank Miller actually intended would thrill you as much as it thrilled me. I'm a fan of the films. You know, 1 is just pitch perfect. 2 is, you know, that over-the-top schlockiness, but it's still a fun ride. And 3 is just that glorified PG-13 mess with the wings and everything. And anyway, let me just say they deviated a lot. But they were trying to make a movie for the kids on that one. Last but not least, and oh, it's got creases, is the reprinting of Dark Horse's RoboCop versus the Terminator. Now, see, Dark Horse is actually listed on the back here, so it looks like it was a dual run. This actually also is by Frank Miller, and is one of the last stories by Frank Miller that I really enjoyed. This tells the story of how basically RoboCop... I just gave away a spoiler, and I edited it out because, no. This is written by Frank Miller. It's drawn by Walter Simonson. It is hardcover. You can get it in soft cover. There was a black and white artist's edition that I couldn't afford to get because I have kids and life and stuff. Really wanted though. Beautifully done. This is a whole stack, and I've not even gotten into Boom Comics' Escape from New York and Big Trouble in Little China. I always get that and Showdown in Little Tokyo mixed up. It's 2 different films. Anyway, and Big Trouble in Little China, both of which are sourced from original stories from John Carpenter. And Escape from New York is great, but Big Trouble in Little China had me laughing out loud for like the first 12 issues, and then unfortunately I had to stop collecting after 12, and I'm going to get all the trades for this. But I hardly ever laugh out loud when reading a book, and they pulled it off consistently. That book is hilarious. It is the true, honest-to-God sequel I think that John Carpenter always intended, and it's not limited by budgetary restrictions. It is a blast, and I wish I had one here to hold up for you, but I don't. But it is what I'm going to get next for myself. Anyway, guys, go to boom/studios.com. They have hundreds of titles, and everything that I've read so far has just impressed the hell out of me. I really appreciate what Boom is doing. They might just be my favorite comic company. And thanks one more time to Ross Richie for bringing this up, and in this contentious atmosphere that's going on right now, man, maybe it's just good to stop and put a different hashtag up to remind people just to support the local comic stores. Go out and get a good comic book. Enjoy life a little more. You know, read something good, and recommend something to me. Recommend something to your friends. Just share. Just put it out there. Let's put some more fun back in our lives. And I thank you for watching. You there. Thank you for watching. Again. Watch more videos. Hey, here's one. There's one. Howard. Check it out. Thank you for watching. See you.